Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another video, and today we're going to be continuing our course on Android application penetration testing, and we will continue doing this injured Android CTF application. So we left on flag 10, so now we're going to be doing flag 11, which is called deep links. So let's first click on this flag and see what it does. So if I click on this, it says check the manifest. If I click on it again, it says exploit the schema. And if I click it again, it says check the manifest. So I'm assuming we have to go to the source code and check something with the Android manifest.xml file. So let's maybe search for flag 11 like that. We can see that there are a few, there's one intent filter on flag 11, and there are a few one action, and there are a few categories on this action. So we will probably have to somehow exploit this Android intent action that we have here to do something. But first, let's look at the source code of the flag 11 activity. And if we look here, there is no such thing as flag 11 activity, but based on the name of the activity, we can guess that the activity is deep link, something like that. So if I scroll a little bit up here, I can see that there is this deep link activity. So clicking on it, I can immediately see a couple of things. So the first thing that we have is this /binary. So I'm immediately assuming that this /binary is maybe some sort of a path in a URL, or maybe a file, or maybe it's like a hint that we have to get a binary file. Or it could also be something like the application opening a binary file and checking something like that. So we are gonna learn about this when we scroll down. Also, there are these hints. So the first hint is this is one part of the puzzle, and then find the compiled treasure. So the application is telling us that this is going to be something with compiled binaries, because we have binary here and the compiled treasure. I'm immediately assuming that this is some sort of activity that is going to include some sort of maybe binary exploitation or something like that. So let's try to figure out what this application does. So scrolling down, I can see this class, and it's really similar to one that we had earlier, like in flag 9 or something like that, where we had this authentication. Authentication succeeded and failed. So let's for now skip this, because we will somehow have to authenticate ourselves probably. So scrolling down, we have something here like errors. Let's see. Then here we are authenticating probably through Firebase database. So for now, I don't see anything interesting here. Scrolling down, I can see this deep link activity, and then it's also doing something with the Firebase. So I don't think it's really that important here. So the first interesting thing I see here, it's getting this new intent, and it's doing something with the new intent. I'm not really sure what it is doing here. For now, let's just scroll down. We will maybe figure out later. We have some more Firebase here. And then we have this function on create. So in this function, we can see that there is being a new intent created with this intent get intent, right? Then it's converting the intent to URI probably here. And then it's checking this if condition, and then if this if condition succeeds, it starts an activity. This intent Android intent action view that we saw previously on the Android manifest.xml file. So let's try to figure out what it does. And if I scroll down, this is the end of the source code of this activity, because we have just submit the flag and that's it, and this is nothing interesting. So we probably have to make this if condition succeed somehow. And if I look here, I can see that data.getScheme. And then let's maybe try to figure out what this a function does. So if I control click on a, it really doesn't do anything too interesting. It just compares these two values, checks if they're not null, and stuff like that. So what do we have here? So because I have this intent to URI, I can probably assume that it's going to be something with URI, but here down below we can see that this data.getScheme is being checked as null, and we have this flag 11 string. So this could maybe mean that this flag 11 could be like the protocol of the intent to URI, the URI path or something like that. And we have this intent that is being started here. So let's maybe try to start this intent ourselves. Maybe it's like a intent that we have to call with something like protocol being flag 11 or something like that. So let's go back to my phone here, and then I will go to the terminal. Okay, now let's try to click on it again. It's not going to work as expected. But now let's try to start this start this intent, start this activity by providing maybe flag 11 as data to the activity. And we can do that by going to the source code here, not source code, to the Android on the terminal, right? And then typing adb shell -- help maybe to get the help. Did it work? adb -h man adb. Let's see, can I maybe look at the manual of the adb? Probably not. Oh, it's being run as .exe, so I'm just going to open it in my Linux installation here. So adb -h. I don't have adb installed, so let me just install adb really quickly. But before we do that, let me just queue up this installation. It's going to install relatively quickly. I forgot also to start my tmux, so let me just go to the tmux window. adb, can I have this here now? Alright, my terminal is acting up, so let's refresh the tmux. I'm really not sure what is happening here. tmux adb, it's glitching somehow, so whatever, I will do it without tmux right now. So adb -h, adb -help. Alright, so we have help options here. So let's see. We want to provide data, so I will just grep for data. Adb shell -h -help maybe. Man adb. We have a man page here. Alright, so I'm guessing that we have to provide data with -d. Like here, direct command to the only connected USB device returns an error if more than one device is present. Let me search for data again. Let's see. Why is it not highlighting? I don't really see here the data. Next. Let's try to provide the data with -d. I just wanted to show here how I would search for commands if I didn't know what to do. I know that on adb you have to type in -d to look at the data, but if you are going through the some kind of technology or a tool that you don't have really familiarity with, and there isn't as many resources to look for, I really recommend to look at the man page of the tool if you are unsure how to use it, to learn more about the tool. that's just what I wanted to show here, because you're not going to know every single tool here and how to use them. So you must learn how to use the man page of the manual page of the tool that you're using. So that's what I wanted to show here. If I go back to my terminal and I type in, let's see, so adb shell to start the activity, and then we are gonna do -w-a and then activity name. So let me just copy the activity name from the Android manifest here, intent action view, like that, and then -d, and let's try to provide flag, just flag 11, and then let's see what will happen. Well, why is it all right? Starting, and then activity not started, unable to resolve intent, and it's unable to start. So the other thing that I wanted to try is paste this again. I'm not really sure why my terminals are acting this weird, but whatever. Maybe I will just clear like that. Control V. All right. So another thing that I wanted to try is providing it with the protocol, flag 11 being the protocol, because here it's getting the scheme and it's checking if it's not null. If data is not null, then it gets scheme, otherwise it returns null. So we have to somehow maybe make this flag 11 to be a let's try to do, let's copy this flag, I already have it here, and then provided it as protocol, like we would enter in some kind of a website. Let's click on enter, and it's okay, and it has started. And weirdly enough, I can see that the activity that has started is called Android calendar, and for some reason it's starting a calendar activity. So let's go back to my phone, but we can see that we are inside of this deep link activity and we have to enter the flag. So if I click help, this is one part of the puzzle, and then find the compiled treasure. If I enter anything here, we get authentication failed. So now let's try to, I closed it on accident, let me just open it again. Now let's try to, why is it calendar? I'm actually not sure why is it happening. Maybe there is such activity on calendar as well as on injured Android now. I'm actually not sure. But let's try to find this compiled binary. So the first thing that I would look for is maybe when we started this activity, something like a database appeared or some sort of a file, like we did in one of the previous flags. So let's go to the Android device by typing adb shell. Then go ahead and type in su to get sudo privileges. So if I type in id, I see that I am root. Then let's go to /data, and then to data again, then to home.injured Android, I believe, or binac injured Android. No, ls grep injured binac. Why wasn't it working earlier? I don't know. So binac.injured Android, like that. And then I would check files here. So if you were on Linux, I mean Android is Linux, but it doesn't have packages like tree. If I were on Linux, I would check all of the paths with tree. But let me just go to these folders one by one, as they're not big. So if I go to app SL cache, nothing here, or I can just ls here, ls cache, there's nothing here, code cache, nothing here, databases, nothing here, files, where, and this is the folder that could contain the binary, nothing here, ls shared prefs, and there is this binact injured Android encrypted.xml, but it's not interesting to us. So we didn't find any binaries here. So what is the other place that we could look for binaries in? So another place is the source code of the application itself. So let's do just that. So let's go to my Kali VM. And then here I have injured Android, this APK file. So let me just decompile this application and then look at the files presented on the application. So to decompile it, we can use APK tool. And if we don't know how to use APK tool, we can do man APK tool. And we can see all of the usage for the APK tool here. So APK tool D to decode, and then we can specify the file by providing -f. Where is it? No, -f is force. Just file.apk, we don't have to provide anything here. So APK tool D and then injured Android, like that. Let's wait for it to decompile. And then let's see. We have this new folder appeared here, injured Android release. So let me cd to this folder. And then we can see that there is a lot of folders here and a lot of places where we can search for binaries. So one of the common places could be maybe in the res folder or assets. Let me start with the res. So cd res, and then there are a lot of values. I forgot that I'm not in Tmax, so we can just go to cd values, and there could be a binary here, but there is not. So let's go to assets then. That's another common place for binaries to appear in. So cd assets, and we actually have a couple of things here. So if I wanted to check what are these files, for example this test, I can just open it, vim test, and it says text.txt. Actually not sure what even is this test. If I do file star, we can see all of the file, what are they built with. So we have this menu, Narnia ARM 64, and Narnia X64 8664. So these are some kind of binaries, and they are all built with Go. We can see here that they are compiled with Go. And which one would you choose? It really depends, but I will just go through every single one of these, starting with Narnia. Let's see what is this binary. So chmod +x narnia.arm64. Let's try to execute this Narnia. And we can see that exec format error, so we cannot execute this binary. We can assume that Narnia x64 will be the same. And if you don't know what does this +x do, it makes the binary executable. If I do ls-la here, we can see that there's this executable bit here that we don't have on this menu file because we haven't given it the executable permissions just yet. Let's try to execute Narnia x86 64 like that. Parameter is needed, so I'm not sure what is the parameter. Flag maybe, we can get somehow the flag maybe. Nope. So I will just leave this binary alone for now. The last binary is menu, so chmod +x menu, and then run the menu binary. We get some sort of a string. So let's see, maybe this string is actually the flag for the deep link activity. If it's not, then we are gonna be testing the Narnia x8664, maybe putting it to what is it called, G-Hydra, to reverse engineer it. If we submit, it says it said authentication failed, but we have actually found the flag. So the menu application is actually what we were looking for, and it gave us the correct flag. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something new about application, about Android applications and stuff like that. And I hope you enjoyed the video. The next one we are going to be doing flag 12, which will be protected components. So yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you later.